Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of a very own podcast, Let's Talk Shop. Here we have a one-on-one interaction with one of the known names in the industry. My name is Mahima Chauhan, your host for today's episode, and here we have Mr. Waseem Syed, who is a freelance director, a design educator and an ex-Disney star. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So without wasting any time, we'll jump on to the questions. So sir, in your past 20 years of experience, what has been your journey and what are the milestones that you have achieved?
So yeah, since 2007 I've been working in the television industry, and I recently quit in October 2022.
Okay.
And now I'm working as a freelance director.
Okay, that's great. And can you just tell us about few of your favorite projects that you have worked on?
So in television, it's like your daily job is more of a edit based work, where you get, if you're working in a movie channel, you'll be given promos to cut for a movie, or a campaign of 3 promos. Generally a campaign is of 3 promos. So mostly it's about edit, sound design, and some graphic based promos, some animation, some motion graphics. But for bigger projects, like for example when Oscars was telecasted on Star Movies, we did shoot promos. So all the shoot promos that I have worked on were really challenging and exciting projects. Okay. So Oscars was one, the launch of Star Movies Select was another big campaign for us, where we shot 2 films. So these are some of the memorable projects. And we did win a lot of awards for these projects also. Even Signature Styles as a project was very challenging and very, it was kind of a learning thing for us also, because we were trying something new for the first time.
That's intriguing actually. So in this long journey, like almost 2-decade-year long journey, like you must have faced a few obstacles, or I guess a lot of obstacles. And what's the thing that you wish that you would have known as a student yourself, and which could have prepared you to face these obstacles?
My personal opinion is, as a student, we are kind of living in a shell of our own. We don't see our work from a third perspective, from a different perspective, from somebody else, or from the audience's perspective. It's more like, I'm doing this because I want to do this, I like this. And mostly it will be just your professor or your teacher who will be commenting on your work, whether it's working or not working. So it's just like this one-on-one interaction. What you learn when you go out and work in the industry is, there is a lot of data. It's a data driven market. So you will have a marketing team, you will have a research team in your company, and they will have a lot of data on what people are liking, or what is selling, what is not selling, what works, what doesn't work. There is a target audience. So there is a different kind of a creative for 14 plus, and there's a different creative for like a particular range of audience, which is say 18 to 35. So your demographics change, and accordingly you have to come up with a campaign that works for that particular audience. So these are things which you will not learn as a student. What you need to learn is how to justify what you've done, and if you truly believe in what you've done and it works from all the perspectives, from the creative perspective as well as it is achieving the marketing objective of that particular exercise, then you should stand your ground and say, I believe in this, and you should be able to justify your creative and fight for it.
So like talking about projects, like what is your approach to the concept development, and how do you take it to the final stage?
So generally, like in the industry, there's always a brief. You work on the brief. So it's not like you have to come up with a brief. You will always be given a brief, whether it's your marketing team or it's a client that you're working for, like a production house or an agency. They'll give you a brief, and sometimes you also get a written script, and you need to just figure out how to direct it, which is what advertising is all about. So a director doesn't write the script. Basically, there's a brief. If I talk about TV channel, it's a different thing, and if I talk about advertising, it's a different thing. So TV channel mein, it's you are given a brief from the marketing team, and it will have a certain time period, like 7 days or 10 days or 3 days. You have to finish that job in that given time period, and there will be a target audience written, like this is the target audience we are targeting, this is the objective behind this promo, and that objective has to be met, whatever your creative is. If that objective is not met, then however good your creative is, it doesn't matter, you will fail. So the marketing objective will not be achieved. So you have to understand the objective very clearly. So you sit with them, you brainstorm, there are fights, all this will happen, which is a part of the process. These are healthy fights that should happen. And then you sit with your team and you kind of do a brainstorming session and crack the idea. Once the idea is cracked, and according to the time limit you have, and according to the budgets you have and the resources you have, you decide what kind of treatment you want to go with it, whether you want to shoot it, or you want to do a stop motion animation, or you just want to edit it, or you want to cut it on a song. If it's for kids, do you want to make it like a kids drawing thing, or you want to get a catchy song which the kids already know, and your target audience already is into this kind of listening to this kind of a genre, and then you cash in on that, and so make it more interesting for your target audience accordingly. And more importantly, what I feel is there should be this madness in you. Like some bit of wacky craziness should be there in you, which is what I tell students, that it was there when we were kids. We used to make a horse fly, or we used to make something which is so silly, which doesn't have a logical, it doesn't make any sense, but you still look at a kid's drawing and look so interesting.
So like, having done our design course, what are your views on like starting an individual venture versus taking up a job?
When you're working in a company, whether it's a corporate or a non-corporate company, whether it's a big company or a small company, there will be certain kind of a discipline in you in that job versus you doing your own thing. I personally am not so disciplined. Like, I will not wake up on time every day if I don't have to do something. You will wake up, you take time, your own sweet time, saying, okay, today I'm not in the mood, I'll work on this tomorrow. All that is not there. It's not an option when you're in a job. So you'll go there every day, you will learn something, you will work on something, then you come back home, you relax. So there is a cycle.
Yeah, the accountability comes into play. That's a big part.
And also you learn so many aspects of a business. Like right now you're just a creative person, but when you're working in a company, you see other departments, you see sales, you see finances, you see a marketing team working on it, you see a programming team working on it, and you see how everyone is working to achieve one thing, and you are a part of it. So it's not just you who's driving everything. There is an entire team working towards achieving one goal, and which to make that thing work. And if that happens, a successful campaign is not just a creative, just because of a creative team, it's because of so many people.
So being in this industry, and you have a lot of experience already, so obviously the expectations of people, don't they like get you sometimes? Like, how do you deal with the pressure?
See, there'll be a constant pressure on you all the time as a creative as a creative, and I think the journey of working in a company, there's already a lot of pressure when you're working, or even as a freelancer, if you're working on projects, directing a shoot. So you know that morning 9 a.m. you're starting a shoot, and by 5 p.m. you have to wrap up, and there is lakhs of rupees riding on you, and if if some mistake happens and if something goes wrong, you will be accountable for that, you know, that entire project. So basically nothing can go wrong. Everything has to happen. There is no room for a mistake.
So some parting words for our students.
So as I said to all the students who are watching this, don't let the kid die in you, and think crazy, think fun, think out of the box. And this out of the box is also kind of very it's used abused word. Out of the box, everybody wants out of the box. But this whole out of the box will come from where? It'll come from that kid in you, is what I'm trying to say. And don't be afraid on going on any adventure. So you should try new things.
Thank you, sir, for being here and sparing your time with us. And it was lovely to have you and having a conversation. To watch more design-driven content like this, do follow us on YouTube and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to not miss any future uploads. For more updates and information regarding the upcoming events and workshop, do follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn. Until then, it's me, Mahima Chauhan, signing off.